Hello everyone, my name is Jackie and today I've got for you my mid-year book freakout tag. Alright, so let's get right into it, and the first question is the best book you've read so far in 2020. That's really difficult. There are a lot of great books, but I'm just going to go with Bone Cries Moon by Catherine Purdy because this was really amazing. Bone Cries are women who are responsible for ferrying the dead to the underworld or to heaven, for ferrying the dead to the afterlife. But to be able to do that, they have to kill their soulmates. It's about Elise and Sabine, who are bone criers, and it's about Bastien, whose father was killed by a bone crier, so he wants revenge. Yeah, it's a really amazing book. You should all read it. Next question is the best sequel you've read so far. And for that I'm going with The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. This is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, and this time we're following Felicity, and it's an amazing book full of powerful, strong female characters, but everyone in their own right. It's so amazing. So the third question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and for that I'm going with House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas, because I adore Sarah J Maas. I pre-ordered this book and then I never read it. So I really have to finally get to this very chunky, big book, but I'm really excited for it because I heard a lot of great things about it. The fourth question is the most anticipated sequel for the second half of the year, and for that I've got two. One of them is actually Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer, because back in the day I really wanted this book and it never came, so I really want to read it. I mean, I know it's Twilight and it's not that great, but it's just a lot of fun and it's a bit nostalgic. So, and the other one is How the King of Elfham Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black, which will come out in December, and is a story about Carden, and I love Carden, so I need more stories about him. The fifth question is the biggest disappointment. For that I'm going with All You Wandering Light by Heather Fawcett. I like this book, but I was expecting more of it. It's the sequel to Even the Darkest Stars, which I really loved, which surprised me, but this one, it was just too predictable for me. Each and every plot twist I called practically from the beginning, well, all except for one. And the only plot twist that surprised me, we were done with in 2 sentences. So I would have expected more from this. I would have wanted more from this. I still liked it. I still gave it 3 stars. It's still a good book. But I wanted a bit more. My biggest surprise of the year was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because for the longest time I didn't want to read it. I thought it was nothing but interests me, and then I read it and I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. It's amazing. I love Evelyn Hugo. She's just such a complex character. I love the relationship she has throughout her life. It's just great. And question number 7 is favorite new author, either a debut author or a new to me author, and for that I'm going with Ryan LaSala, whose debut is Reverie, which actually was released in January. And yeah, it's only 1 book, but I'm guessing I will love everything else he writes. There are already arcs out there for his 2nd book, and I think it will be released in January, and I can't wait for it. So yeah, I really like it. Question number 8 is your newest fictional crush, and honestly, from the books I read for the first time during the last 6 months, I don't have a crush on anyone, so I'm going to ignore that, because the next question is newest favorite character. So for that I'm going with Eli and Victor from Wishes by Wee Schwab. I just can't decide between the two, but it is just such an interesting book. There are such interesting characters, so I really like those two. So, and I know they're not good people or anything, but I just like how Wee Schwab wrote them. So, and question number 10 is a book that made you cry, and that's a bit difficult because I'm not crying that often while reading books, but books that made me sad or want to cry were More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera and Solitaire by Alice Oseman, but in Solitaire it's specifically one scene with Charlie in it that I really wanted to cry at. And More Happy Than Not is just, it's a bit more than just one scene. But I really enjoyed both of these, so. And question number 11 is a book that made you happy, and for that I didn't really want to pick a reread, but if I'm picking a reread I'm going with Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. But if I'm only picking a book that I've read for the first time, I'm going with The Gentleman's Guide to Getting Lucky by Mackenzie Lee, which is a short novella to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue about Monty and Percy, and it's just really, really cute, and it's so fun and hilarious, and it made me laugh. Question number 12 is the most beautiful books you've bought so far this year. And once again, I couldn't pick just one because I got Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor and Phoenix First Must Burn by Patrice Caldwell. And those covers are just so beautiful both. I mean, look at it. They're just both so amazing. Question number 13 is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So, there's a list. And I made it as short as possible. So, let's get through this. What I have to read is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. And it's so big. I don't know when I will finally pick this up because it intimidates me a lot. I also have to read everything by Alice Oseman that she wrote so far. I just picked one at random. I was born for this. Another book I really want to read before the end of the year is My Dog Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I heard a lot of great things about it, but it's also very hard-hitting, so. And With Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. Once again, heard a lot of great things about it. Really want to read it. Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare, so that I can finally read the other series that she released after that. But first, of course, I have to finish Lord of Shadows. Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I was really excited for the sequel and then I never picked it up. Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. Becky Albertalli is one of my favorite authors and I haven't picked this up yet. And lastly, Everything by Adam Silvera, which I already have in my hands here. Alright, so those are all the books I want to read before the end of the year. Well, at least some of them. And question 14 is favorite book community member. And that's really difficult because sadly I'm not really interacting that much with the book community online. So I can tell you my favorite booktubers if that's something you're interested in. That's Emma Books, it's Zoe's All Booked, Bowties and Books, and Haley in Bookland. I will leave all the links down below. Alright, that's it for my mid-year book freak out tag. I think overall it didn't go that badly the first half of the year, considering that I was in a reading slump and, well, alright, there was COVID too, so still is actually. So yeah, I don't know, it's just a mess. 2020 is a mess, but I've read some great books, so at least I've got that. If you filmed this tag, to leave the links down below, I really would like to watch it. Or just answer the questions for the tag if you want to. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!